It's time for the last war for the Iron Throne, the much awaited clash between the two queens, Cersei Lannister and Daenerys Targaryen. On the Iron Throne in the King's Landing is Cersei Lannister, the Queen of the Seven Kingdoms, and the challenger Daenerys has arrived at the King's Landing to remove Cersei from the throne, and they are willing to go to any lengths to sit on the Iron Throne. Now that we are going to witness the ultimate clash between the two queens in episode 5 of Game of Thrones, the big question is, are Daenerys and Cersei the two sides of the same coin? Are they the same person who have had different journeys? Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to discuss the character arcs of the two queens, how similar or different the two characters are on Game of Thrones, even though they have had different journeys, and what will be the fate of the two characters. The two most important central characters on Game of Thrones, who started their journey in the very first season, survived 7 seasons and are now at the end of their journey in the final season 8. The episode 5, the penultimate episode, could be the final episode for both the characters, for both the queens. The long journey of the two queens might end in episode 5. Dany, the Dragon Queen, is an outsider to the King's Landing. She has come to claim her throne that she believes is rightfully hers. Dany, the daughter of the king who was killed by Jaime Lannister, was in exile since season 1, and she has had one objective: to come to Westeros and take the throne. She has had a long journey, gone through many ups and downs and betrayals. She raised an army of loyal Dothraki and the Unsullied, and now finally she has returned home to claim her birthright, to stake her claim to the throne. She is at the King's Landing for the final war. Will she survive season 8? When her journey started in season 1, she was pretty much alone except one brother who was not really nice to her. After her long journey, now in season 8, she is alone again. We saw in episode 4 how lonely she was at the end of the Battle of Winterfell. She is surrounded by people, but at the end of the day, she is all alone. She lost Jorah Mormont, her oldest supporter, whom she could trust blindly. She has lost her loyal Missandei, with all her loyal supporters and friends gone, and after the tragic end of Missandei, she might turn into a mad queen like her father who wanted to burn the city. On the other hand, the most unique thing about the Queen of Westeros, Cersei Lannister, is that she started her journey in the King's Landing in season 1, and at the end of the series in season 8 she is still at the King's Landing. Cersei has always been at the King's Landing from season 1 till season 8. Most of the characters went out of the King's Landing, but she's the one who remained at the King's Landing always. Cersei is the one who has always been closest to the throne, either as the wife or mother of the king, before she finally captured the throne for herself. When season 1 started, Cersei had the entire family, 3 kids, her loyal brother slash boyfriend, Jaime Lannister. But now, like Dany, Cersei is also alone. She has lost her 3 kids, she has lost her father, and her brothers are not on her side. The biggest similarity between the two queens, Dany, the mother of 3 dragons, the Dragon Queen, and Cersei, the mother of 3 kids, the Queen of 7 Kingdoms, is that they are lonely and both of them are being portrayed as the Mad Queens. And yes, one more interesting similarity is that Cersei is supposed to be pregnant, still a mystery though. Dany is also expected to be pregnant. What will be the fate of these 2 kids? Will their fate be similar as well like their mothers? It's interesting to see that Daenerys Targaryen and Cersei Lannister had a very different journey from season 1 to season 8, yet the two characters are quite similar, like the two sides of the same coin. Both of them are obsessed about the Iron Throne, they demand people to bend the knee, and both use fire to burn their enemies. Dany is supposedly a good character, good queen, and a good person who helped Winterfell, the North, in defeating the Night King and the army of the dead with her dragons. On the other hand, Cersei wants the ultimate power. In the Game of Thrones, she has lost everything and everyone, her father, kids, and her dignity as well. She is considered as the villain, an evil person, a bad queen whose people hate her and fear her. However, the two characters, the two queens, are quite similar if we look at their relationships and even the way they deal with their enemies. In fact, when it comes to their relationships and kids, they had pretty much similar journey. Both Cersei and Dany were married off to kings against their wishes. If Cersei was married off to the old king Robert Baratheon by her father against her wishes, then Dany was married off to Dothraki king Khal Drogo by her brother so that in return he could use his army to take back the Iron Throne. While Dany lost her child with Khal Drogo, apparently Cersei also lost her first child with Robert Baratheon. Cersei has been in a relationship with her twin brother Jaime Lannister. He was her most trustworthy, loyal person. She relied on him to support and defend her in crucial times before he left her at the end of season 7. Similarly, Dany is now in some sort of relationship with Jon Snow, her nephew, who is half Stark and half dragon. Cersei had three children and all three died one by one. Two kids were poisoned and one committed suicide. Dany considers her three dragons as her babies. She has lost her two dragons and now she has only one dragon, Drogon, and she might lose Drogon in the last war against Cersei. It's quite interesting to see how both Cersei and Dany turn to fire, dragonfire or wildfire, to burn their enemies when they are desperate. We have seen how Cersei burned down the Sept with wildfire in season 6 to get rid of her enemies, the High Sparrow and others. In a way, Cersei captured the Iron Throne through fire. Similarly, Dany has used dragonfire to kill her enemies many times. She used fire to kill Rendell and Dickon Tarly for not bending the knee. And now there is a big possibility that she might do a Cersei by using dragonfire to kill innocent people at the Red Keep in King's Landing. Both Cersei and Dany like to punish their enemies or anyone who betrays them. In fact, Cersei is into some sort of poetic revenge, like Qyburn said she has planned something for the Dragon Queen. Interesting. What would that be? And she has already sent Bronn to kill Jaime and Tyrion with a crossbow. Some people suspect that Dany is not suitable, not fit to sit on the Iron Throne, as sometimes she shows signs of a mad queen, as if she is not in control of her emotions and her anger. She has a history of madness in her family. Her father was the Mad King who wanted to burn the city before Jaime Lannister killed him, whereas Cersei is considered as a completely mad person. We have seen how in episode 4 of season 8 she killed Missandei just to provoke Dany. And we can see that Missandei's death is going to affect Dany. She doesn't look in control of herself, and like her father, she might turn into a mad queen just like Cersei, and she might use her last dragon to burn the entire city. And finally, the last similarity between Cersei and Dany is that both queens have been the subject of prophecies. Both Cersei's and Dany's futures were revealed to them through prophecies. In season 2, in the House of the Undying, Dany had a vision of standing in the Red Keep's throne room covered in falling snow. In her vision, she saw the Iron Throne in King's Landing covered in snow and she was surrounded by snow. That kind of implies that she will meet her fate at King's Landing. In the case of Cersei, the prophecy by Maggie the Frog has come true. Cersei has lost three children as it was predicted by Maggie the Frog's prophecy. In addition, according to the prophecy, a new, younger queen has come to remove Cersei from the Iron Throne, and now we know that Dany is that younger queen and is going to fulfill this part of the prophecy. The last part of the prophecy is that little brother will kill Cersei. Now it remains to be seen if that little brother is her own brother or is it Euron Greyjoy. If it's her own brother, then Jaime Lannister could be the one to kill Cersei, and that will make Jaime the Kingslayer and the Queenslayer and Kinslayer. Wow. In fact, it could be Euron Greyjoy as well, as Euron is also a younger brother. When Euron learns that Cersei lied to her about the baby, he might be the one to kill her. So overall, Cersei and Dany are like the two sides of the same coin. The two queens with one goal, one objective to sit on the Iron Throne, different lives, different journeys, but are much more alike than they are different. Will their fate be similar as well? Both Cersei and Dany truly believe they deserve to be on the Iron Throne. It's a clash of two queens, a clash of similarities. Cersei believes that in the Game of Thrones you either win or you die, and she is ready for that. In fact, she has been playing this Game of Thrones since season 1. What do you think? What are other similarities between the two characters, Cersei and Dany? Thank you for watching. Bye.
When you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die. There is no middle ground.